Welcome, everyone. This is Ouachita Valley's first podcast. My name is Jessica, and I'm the Director of Marketing for Ouachita Valley Federal Credit Union. Ouachita Valley was established in 1955 as a teachers' credit union, and we have evolved into 17 parishes across Northeast Louisiana. And I'm just so proud to be a part of the credit union to help our members and our future members, as well as the community. And today I have with me Marlon. He is our Assistant VP of Lending at Ouachita Valley Federal Credit Union. And I'm so glad that we're doing this together today. And we are going to talk about credit today. Lots of questions, from our members and the community about credit, about how to establish credit. What do I do if I've had problems in the past? And I think it's a very good first topic for us today to kind of talk about the credit union, talk about credit, talk about what we do for our members. And so start off by telling me what the credit union means to you.
Well, to me, it's the credit union is a community resource. So thankful that I got that opportunity to kind of be part of the credit union and to be so involved with the community, the families that I've met, lives that with my platform that I was able to change with establishing that the first credit.
Yes. I will say the one thing that I personally enjoy about the credit union is making a difference in, the finances of families throughout the parishes that we serve. You always say if you can get your finances in order, everything else typically seems to fall in place.
Absolutely.
That's probably one of the biggest struggles that I've seen. Families will say, we've got to get our finances in line. And we see all different kinds of people from all different walks of life.
Absolutely.
So talking about credit, let's talk about the basics of credit, where it comes from, the credit score, all the things that you do on a daily basis.
Right. So when kind of talking about credit, not to give a very technical term, but it almost, you see it within the word credit. It's credit worthiness and credibility. And it starts from one, getting that first opportunity. So it goes back to what I talked about earlier, being part of the community and helping someone get that first opportunity to show that they are credit worthy.
That's right.
And you only build credit by your pay history and dealing with an institution that reports to all of the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
Yes.
And so, and we report to all three of the major credit bureaus. So it starts with that pay history. If you have and you can establish that solid pay history, that's your first start. And then, it kind of goes on from there. There are other aspects, your revolving credit, your credit cards, your usage on that, the different trade lines that you have, because you do have revolving, you have your installment as well as your mortgage. So there's tiers to that credit, but at the same time, it starts with that opportunity. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of the credit union that we've helped so many get that first opportunity to start that credit, to establish it and to maintain it throughout, their membership.
That's one thing. Two things that you said that I want to touch point on. One thing is establishing credit. We go throughout the community, throughout, high schools, college level, talking to young adults about establishing credit.
Right.
If you were a young adult or you're giving advice to a young adult, what would you tell them? They're entering the real world. They may have a job. They may be out of mom and dad's house. Establishing credit is so hard for young adults these days.
Right.
And you see a lot of young adults say, well, I got a credit card. And then you say, well, they put too much on the card. They forget about those payments. So there's sort of two things is usage and making sure that those credit cards are paid on time. So if you're giving advice to a young adult, maybe just say 18 to 24 years old, what advice would you give them?
The first bit of advice is to find someone like myself. And when I say that, I'm not saying that to put myself on a pedestal.
Right.
What I mean by that is there is a lot of misinformation. So you need a resource that you can come to and get that same sound advice. Because when you're looking at so many different resources, so much different information that you really don't know what's valid or not.
Right.
So when you have that opportunity to come to Ouachita Valley and have a individual loan officer that will help guide you in the areas of credit, you're not getting bits and misinformation, bits and pieces of information that you don't really know what to deal with.
That's right.
So they need to attach themselves with someone that has the experience to know exactly what they need to do and kind of just be guided with that and not have to learn from mistakes.
That's right. And one of the important things that when, we're going out doing these seminars for young adults, and I'll even say, people that have had credit problems in the past and they're trying to reestablish.
Yes,
and we'll talk about that in just a second.
Absolutely.
But I want to say it's all about building relationships and find someone, and I'm not saying Ouachita Valley, I would love to serve everyone,
That's
but
great.
find someone and build a relationship to know I need to call this person, and you can get trusted advice
Yes.
from someone who knows the ins and outs of how this is going to affect their future.
Yes.
Nowadays, they're pulling credit for anything. And you see that, the kids may go in a department store or, apply for this and get 10% off. Well, we want to deter them and say, be careful
Yes.
on what you sign up for.
Correct.
Always ask, what is the best way to build my credit, and use someone that you can trust and you can build that relationship with.
That's right. That's right. And again, it goes back to what you said, having that relationship, because when I'm talking to an individual member about credit, I don't see a dollar sign in front of me. I want to give them advice that will help them into the future. Be part of those first, that first vehicle purchase, that first vacation loan, that first loan for your marriage or for your wedding.
Yes.
That first home loan, because I've had so many opportunities to do that, and then they come back and they're very thankful for it. So I see that versus just getting them to take out the loan. It's not really about that. It's about taking care of the community. That way they're not taking advantage, at another institution.
Absolutely. And you see a lot of people coming in and they don't understand how much money they would save if they check those interest rates.
That's right.
Interest rates are a huge topic right now. We've seen the economy, we've seen what it's done to even, our community.
Right.
And I don't know that people realize if you check those interest rates and you actually see what's out there and you take the time to do your research, how much money you could be saving per month just based off the interest rates alone.
And that's one thing that I do. One of the first things that I do, I show the difference between an individual, and I don't like to say good credit, bad credit.
Right.
We say low score, higher score.
That's right.
So I give them a side-by-side comparison of this is how much interest you'll pay if you had a 730 and above score versus this is what interest you'll pay if you had a 530 and below score.
That's right.
And it's tens of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely. And we want to get our members to that higher score because that's more money in their pockets at the end of the month to pay for groceries, a mortgage, all the other things that, these families have to provide for their family.
Right. Yeah. So, and again, we just want to put them in the best position possible to succeed. Because when our individual member succeeds, he or she is able to pass that along to friends and family members, give them our information, and we change the community one member at a time.
That's right. And that's our job every day.
Absolutely.
One thing I do want to kind of flip and talk about, we've talked about, the young adults establishing credit. If someone were to come to you and say, I've had job loss or, family changes, all kinds of things can change the dynamics of your finances.
Right.
If someone's coming to you and say, I've had credit problems in the past, where do I need to start? What do I need to do? What advice would you give that person?
First advice I would give them is don't pay anybody to fix your credit.
Yes.
I see so many members that come in and they are paying an individual, paying a company or individual in some cases to correct their credit when all they have to do is do the legwork themselves.
That's right.
We understand that bad things happen to good people. So we just have to have a plan to correct that. We pull the credit, we look at kind of what has been done in the past 2 years. That's the strength of your credit score. It can help or hurt the things that you've done in the last 2 years. So if there's some older items on there that have been charged off, that you didn't complete the payment, first you just have to contact those institutions. You may have a situation where you can do a settlement offer, a situation where once that settlement is paid, it'll show a paid charge-off nonetheless, but it has less effect when it's a zero balance.
That's right.
On that charge-off. So really just finding and targeting the items that are affecting your score right now. Some of the stuff that's older, it doesn't have that effect.
And there's always options.
Yes, always
options.
Yeah.
And I want to say that too, because, here in our area, you see so many payday loan.
That's
You
right.
see so many options that people think this is easy, it's convenient. But there are so many other options out there that will save you time and it will save you money in the long run. I just want people to be aware and just know that there are other options out there.
Yes. Be patient in that situation.
It doesn't correct itself overnight.
It doesn't. Be patient in that situation, and don't take the first option. You know, we cost ourselves a lot of money going with the first option. You always want to explore the options that you have. And I've had so many members that come in my office and they've been told their entire credit history life that they have poor credit.
Yes.
And all they are able to do is go to a payday loan or a finance company that has the 30-40% interest. And honestly, once I look at the credit, it's not that bad.
Right.
Again, I don't say good credit, bad credit. I say low score, high score. They just have a low score. There's factors of having a credit card that's maxed out. Everybody understands that you can't go over the 30% capacity, which means...
I was going to ask you to go into that.
Yeah. So simple terms, if you have a credit card that's $1,000 limit, if you use 30%, if you charge $300 of that limit, then you get to the point where you're losing 30 points. You'll lose 1%, 1 point per percent that you use. So
the goal is to keep all of your cards underneath that 30% capacity mark.
That's the goal. But for me, what I always advise my members, make sure that you're paying that card off at the end of the month.
Every month.
That way, because you could keep it at 30%, but you're still going to lose 30 points.
That's right.
So ideally, you want to keep that credit card paid off. Ideally, you don't want to charge more than you can pay off at the end of the month. Because if you keep it with a zero balance, you can keep all of your capacity 100%. You can also not have to pay interest on that money that was charged.
We have a couple tools, I know, on our online banking app and different, our website that you can go on and you can look at your daily credit score. It doesn't hurt your credit, to pull and to look at this. It's there at your fingertips to know this is what my credit score is. This is the range I'm in. And so I do want to, encourage our members, if they haven't used that tool, to use that. It's Credit Sense. It's a very easy, it's right there on your mobile app in your hand.
Clicking on it every day. Personally clicking on it every day.
And it gives you updates, and it also gives you options to show if I was going to, get a loan for a vehicle, or if I was going to take out a loan for whatever the reason may be. It will give you those monthly payments and give you an approximate note of what you'll be paying each month.
Right.
So we do have the technology and the tools to help our members. And then just a couple things to wrap up. Do you have a success story that you can share with us of a member off the top of your head? I know I just put you on the spot.
Right.
Nothing like being on the spot, but I know there have been so many success stories with people who come in that are embarrassed or they're nervous about, what do I need to do? But I know that there have been so many members that we have helped with their finances. Can you think of one that you'd like to share?
Oh, there's so many, but just one that comes to mind. Started with a credit builder loan. Actually, this member would always come to our career fairs and come to our credit counseling seminars. Started with a credit builder loan, and then they worked themselves to a signature loan. Was able to finally, after working for a couple of years, saving, budgeting, back and forth, kind of being nervous about making a big purchase, but they were able to buy a brand new car. And, the fact.
What a feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they didn't only share it with me in my office. They, they were able to go out. They wanted to tell everybody, all of the other employees on the operations side, it was just a good feeling that we were able to change someone's life.
That's right.
But it wasn't an individual thing. It was a group effort, a combined effort between myself and that member.
It takes work.
It does take work because we had a goal, we had a plan, and we both stuck to it. So I really enjoyed that situation. Again, there's so many other stories, but I just remember starting from a credit builder. This
establishing the credit and sticking to the plan,
having the discipline, sticking to the plan, and ultimately having a goal to get out of an old vehicle that they had for 10 years that gave them problems after problem after problem, and then all of a sudden realizing a goal and achieving that goal. by just basically sticking to the plan.
And what a time. 2025 is here. Can't believe I'm saying that.
Right.
But January, what a time to say, I'm going to get my finances in line. You hear all these New Year's resolutions, but to me, when your finances are on track, everything else in your life seems to fall into place. So that's a great place to start. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing those stories. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. We'll be back and have you again for another topic soon.
Yes.
But Marlon, thank you for all you do with the credit union. And 2025 is going to be an awesome year for us and our community and our members. And so thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you all for your membership. If you're not a member, please call us. We'd love to have you and we'd love to serve you. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.